Hi. Um, Today I thought I'd do something a little different. I know I usually do voice acting scripts and I'm playing a character and it's acting and it's fun and I really enjoy it. But today, this week, I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about myself. Um, I think I've mentioned before that I am Vietnamese American, and as I'm sure many of you know, we are in the season for the Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year, Vietnamese New Year, Korean New Year, and I thought I'd share a little bit about how my family celebrates, if that'd be okay. Um, so first of all, Vietnamese New Year's is called Tet, and to say Happy New Year in Vietnamese, and also like sorry if my Vietnamese isn't that great. Um, I am a second generation Vietnamese American, so my parents came here to America when they were like late teens, maybe early 20s, and they actually met here in America, fell in love, got married, and then they had me. So my Vietnamese is not the greatest. It was the first language I learned, but I quickly, learned English through going to school, and my parents used or tried to use English a lot more so that at home I could teach my younger brother and younger sister English. So I would say out of the three of us, between the three of us, I probably have the best Vietnamese and um it's not great. So apologies if you are Vietnamese American or Vietnamese and you're like, whoa, that was like really badly pronounced. Um, I haven't spoken Vietnamese in like years at this point, so forgive me for mispronouncing some words. But sorry, to get back on topic. The way to say Happy New Year in Vietnamese is Chúc mừng năm mới. And it's basically like Chúc means blessing or like celebrate, I guess. And Mừng means happiness. Năm means year. And Mới means new. And so when you put it together, it's kind of like, happy blessings for the new year. And we say it a lot, obviously, how in Western culture we say Happy New Year to our friends and family. In Vietnamese, you also do that. You say Chúc mừng năm mới to your friends, your parents, your aunts and uncles, and, everyone that you meet in the new year. Typically, in my family, we usually only celebrate the one day. I am aware that back in, mainland Vietnam that they celebrate for a longer amount of time, but I wouldn't know what that's like. So we just have one really, really big family party, usually at my aunt's house on my dad's side. I have like over, I don't know, like 100 cousins and nieces and nephews And when I say nieces and nephews, I don't mean like my brother and sister's children. In Vietnamese culture, the sons and daughters of my cousins are also considered my nieces and nephews, and I'm considered their like auntie. So I have quite a big family. When I was younger, we would get these red envelopes when we would visit family. And in Vietnamese, it's called lì xì. And I know there's like different words for red envelopes. I know in, I think like, I don't know if it's Mandarin or Cantonese, it's like hong bao. Maybe that's Mandarin, because I think Cantonese is very similar to the Vietnamese lì xì. It might have a different accent, but typically there's like a nominal amount, and it's given from the married family members to usually children, but technically it's like anyone who's unmarried. So as someone who is still unmarried, I think I will be receiving lots of lì xì this year as well. And the custom is usually that the elder will have the lì xì in their hands, they'll have the red envelope, and the person who wants the lì xì will go up to the elder and give them blessings for the year. So it, you know, basic blessings like I wish you good health and I wish you good fortune. I wish you lots of money. So my dad, when I was very, very little, I think this is like the only thing I know how to say really in Vietnamese is like the three blessings that I would give my elders, which is it would go like this. Năm nay con chúc, and then I would say like aunt or uncle or grandma. We have different words for different family members. So let's say, for example, I'm going to my aunt and I want to say this blessing, right? So I would say, Năm nay con chúc cô nhiều tiền, which is money. Sống lâu, which is long life. And then vang sự như ý. And I think that's how you say it with that accent. I'm not 100% sure. It's been years since my dad actually taught me how to say that. But I think that last one means like, I hope that everything that you wish for goes your way this year. So those are the three things that I would typically say. And I would say the same thing. You really don't have to like mix it up from family member to family member. You would say the same three things. And once you say it, then you will have the red envelope, the lì xì bestowed upon you. And then you would take that money and you would save it. Or maybe you would give it to your parents and they would save it for you. We also, I know one of my fondest memories is there's this gambling game in the new year, and in my family, I don't know if there's like a different name for it, but we always called it lak bao guo, which means like shaking gourd and crab, which doesn't mean a lot if you just translate it, but it's a game with like a piece of paper that has 6 pictures on it, like, and these pictures are in circles, so 6 circles with images on it. And inside these 6 circles, there's a picture of like a deer and a rooster, a gourd, a crab, a fish, a shrimp. And so they would have a dice as well corresponding to those images, a 6-sided dice. And there would be 3 dice. So it's a gambling game. So you would use your newly earned lì xì pocket money and you would gamble. And I remember when I was younger, we would put like $1, maybe $2 down. And the person who would shake the dice using 2 bowls, right? the person who would shake the dice typically was the person who got to scoop up any money that wasn't, face up on the dice. So let's say the dice has 3 crabs, right? So I would take a look at the board, and any picture that had money on it that wasn't a crab, I could collect for myself. That would be my like winnings. And then any amount of money that was sitting on crab, I then had to basically add to for every dice. So if it's $1, I would have to pay out $3, and so on and so forth. And I think it's just, I don't know, like it was really fun. I gambled like that a lot when I was younger. I'm not a huge gambler now, and I gotta say, I think nowadays, oh my goodness, someone is really texting me. I think I think nowadays my cousins bet like $10 or $20 for every, roll of the dice. And I'm like, oh, that's too rich for my blood. So, yeah, that's just the small part of that. I think that is also more about family and just being there with family, celebrating with food and connecting. I know that every thought that I was a part of, whenever I went to like my aunt's house, every meal that was cooked, every dish that was prepared, there would be a really small bowl or plate with the same food, but set to the side. And I was told when I was little, like that's food for the dead. So food for our ancestors and our past loved ones. And that would be their meal for the new year. I'm not sure if it was like superstitious or anything, but I was told that that food tends to spoil faster because, like, the dead have touched it. I don't know if that's necessarily true or if it's because it's literally been sitting out all day. Now that I think about it, maybe it is because it was sitting out all day. Sorry, I'm just like realizing this after so long. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of very, New Year's specific foods. I know in my family there's something called bantut, which is a kind of round. It's not like a cake. It's savory. How do I explain this? It is this log that is basically made of glutinous rice, and the outer layer is like a glutinous rice, and then the inner layer is like a mung bean kind of savory paste, and then in the very middle there's pieces of like cut pork belly. That all gets wrapped together in banana leaves, and then it gets steamed. So it's quite large. It's not like it's like it's a log. I don't know how to describe how large it is. Like, usually it's as big as like my hand. Like the palm of my hand, maybe a little bit larger. And it has quite a large diameter. And the log is like, I don't know, like a foot long. And you steam that, and when it's done steaming, you slice pieces. And I guess some people will just eat it sliced like that. I definitely prefer taking that slice and crisping it up on the stove because the outside layer gets nice and crispy and the inside layer is warmed through, especially if it's been like in the fridge, Then the inside layer gets warmed through, and it's just super tasty. Typically, there would also be like, it's called titkaw. I don't know if this is like a New Year specific dish because I've had it like other days of the year, but I think it's also something that we cook for New Year's. But it's like a braised pork belly and egg dish. I know that like other Asian cultures have a version of this, like, the Filipino people have like a similar dish that's pork belly and eggs, and so does, you know, Chinese. Like my Chinese friends have. I'm like trying to think what it's called, but I like cannot recall the name. But it's like a soy sauce braised one. The Vietnamese version is my favorite, of course. It's like braised in a coconut water fish sauce seasoned like liquid with sugar in it, and it's a very like mild sweet kind of dish. And the eggs are really tasty when you like mash up the yolk into the very liquidy rice and sauce. Oh, it's like one of my favorites. I think there's also things like soy, which is like a glutinous sticky rice that's sweet, typically served with sprinkles of like dried coconut. There's also candied like almonds and ginger and nuts, and it's usually in like a tray with all these different like candied bits of fruit or nuts and coconut, I believe, as well. And I think there's also like seeds, like maybe watermelon seeds. I don't know what kind of seeds. They're like dried seeds that we can like crack up. Maybe sunflower. I don't think they're sunflower seeds. Maybe watermelon seeds. They're like flat and kind of red. But yeah. Other customs that I remember, and I'm like not sure if these are like how other families celebrate. It's very specific to my family, but I remember one year my dad had shooed the whole family out of the house before midnight, and then New Year happened, and of course we lit like firecrackers and it was loud and it was festive. I think it was like a regular Monday night and I had school the next day. But it was really cold, and I remember my dad kind of going through each family member's zodiac, and he determined the luckiest order for everyone to re-enter the house. And I remember that year, my dad said that I had to be the last person to enter the house because I think like my zodiac animal was uh, the, the unluckiest that year. And it was really cold and I just wanted to go to sleep. I think that's everything. At least for right now. I think that's everything that I can think of. Um I hope that, you know, you learned something. I hope that it was interesting. I know this is definitely different from my usual content. Um More rambly and less structured. Definitely more peek behind the curtain of who I am versus playing a character. But I hope you enjoyed. And I hope everyone has a very safe and happy new year. It is the year of the fire horse, and it means it's going to be a very energetic and exciting year for a lot of people. Make sure you are taking care of yourselves. Make sure you can definitely check your own like zodiac horoscope for the year. Um, just make sure you know what your zodiac animal is, and then you can check your fortune for the year against the year of the fire horse, and it'll tell you, in love, in finances, in career, in health, what you need to look out for. I thought mine was pretty interesting. I think it'll be a very exciting year. Already so many things have started cropping up, and I know it's like technically, the Western year that I'm going off of, but if things continue the way that they are, I think the rest of this, Vietnamese New Year will also be quite exciting. So yeah, be safe. Chúc mừng năm mới, and I hope that you are celebrating with friends, family, and the people that you cherish most in the world. Okay.